It's an industry that I generally love. I have a passion for. I eat, sleep, I live for fitness.
No, you need to be obsessed. You need to wake up, think about it. You need to go to bed, think about your clients, think about your progress, think about what you can do better.
Genuinely, just be patient and take your time. That is you've got to take it all in the right steps. You've got to nail what you do in person before you go online.
I don't like to talk about fear. The fears is usually something that makes your worries real.
Welcome to the CoachingIgnited podcast. My name is Alex Povey. If you're a new listener, the show is released every Sunday on all the major platforms, including Spotify and iTunes. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a show. Every week we invite a new guest from the fitness industry or coaching space to share their personal journey in business. We will deep dive into actionable ideas, strategies and systems that you can apply in your life and business too. You can also access free weekly content in our private Facebook group by searching Coaching Ignited. And if you're a face-to-face personal trainer with room to take on additional clients, head over to CoachingIgnited.com, where you can apply for our 30-day Client Accelerator program and find out more about our business, sales and marketing training platform. Now let's get into this week's episode. Enjoy the show. So on this week's episode, we have got Karl Muir, the founder of the PT Mentor UK, and they offer the most up-to-date evidence-based training in level 2, 3 and 4 qualifications. And on this show, we really just get into the nitty-gritty, guys, of generating leads on the gym floor and really some strategies and value-based selling techniques that you can use in your business straight away. And building a personal training business is not always easy, but it doesn't have to be complicated. And we look at some simple but actionable steps that any trainer can take to get more awareness, position themselves as an expert, and build a thriving business. There's also going to be a link in the show notes if you want to grab a 15% discount code on a selection of courses run by Karl and his team. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. All right, buddy, so we're live, and I just want to say thank you so much for spending some time to do this. It's always great to have on guests from the industry to give kind of new perspectives, because what you're probably going to share today is not something that we have covered before. So we've never had someone that runs a PT-based training company on the show before. So this is going to be a great show. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. And for anyone listening, Karl, can you kind of give us a backstory into how you got into the industry and what is it that you actually do?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, thanks for having me. It's a privilege to be the first training provider company on, so that's something I can definitely take away from that. Funnily enough, at the age of sort of 16, 17, I didn't actually have a clue what I wanted to do when I was older. So I ended up, like most sort of 17, 18-year-olds, going down the pub a lot, to the point where one person that I used to drink in a regular pub turned around and said, "Oh, we're looking for an assistant manager. You're in here all the time. Do you want to become one?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Still not knowing what I wanted to do, working in a pub, straight into an assistant manager role. I sort of hung around for 6.5 years until I sort of, funny enough, I was listening to one of your podcasts the other day, and just like someone else fell into the industry when one of their mates said to him, "Oh, I'm a personal trainer." And I looked at him and I thought, "You work in John Lewis warehouse. How the hell have you become a personal trainer?" Because he's been sold the dream of he's going to be training people in their houses, training celebrities off on their yachts, etc. And I thought, God, this sounds amazing. He didn't really go to the gym or anything himself. So I looked into it and sort of went and done a PT course, quit the pub industry, because like I said, I was there, literally didn't know why, just sort of hung around way too long. So started a Premier Diploma, which was an intense, I think it was 14 weeks, sort of Monday to Friday, 8:30 till 5:30, proper in your face like they used to do it. Because everyone else was on the course, obviously 15, 20 people on the course, I used a bit of common sense to think, right, I need to go and find a job, because on the end day of the course, everyone else will be looking for a job. Started working at David Lloyd free on a weekend as a gym motivator, as they used to have back in the day. And then worked my way up from there. Sort of become a personal trainer, built up my client base, So as soon as I finished my course, I was straight into a full-time job because I already had a foot in the door. And then a couple of years, and that was, what year was that? 2014, I think I come into the industry, 15 years now. Sort of went from David Lloyd, only there for about a year and a half maybe, to a small private club. Was there for about 3 years in an affluent area. Obviously, you've got to go where the money is. And then, as you can probably tell already, I can't keep my mouth shut for too long. So I sort of worked my way up to management level because I was one of those people that were like, oh, that treadmill will look better over there, or let's do this, let's do that. So they sort of got sick of that and said, do you want to just be the gym manager? I was like, yeah, fine. But as you probably know from yourself or sort of previous guests, past experience, etc., the further you get up that chain, you've got to drop all your clients down. And that's what I hated. I was not happy doing management. And then about 9 years ago now, a friend of a friend was a tutor and an assessor, and sort of got into assessing, teaching, and sort of went down that route.
Awesome. So you've been in the trenches. You've been in the trenches. You've been a trainer. You've been through the education system. You've been to management level. So you've kind of seen a lot of angles of the industry, and that's probably given you a lot of insight, which has helped you build what you have today. But before we kind of get to what you have now and what you actually do, can you kind of talk about those early days of becoming a trainer and becoming qualified? What was it like when you first started?
Yeah, so like I said, my course was about 12, 14 weeks, I think it was. It was proper intense, you know, and again, going from the pub industry where I was sort of feeding people and giving people drinks that I tell people not to eat now. I always used to make a joke, I've gone from getting them fat to getting them fit initially. So I did have a very good sort of customer service head because, you know, being in that industry, you've got to sort of, you know, customers always right type thing. So you can always have a good joke with like a younger person, an older person, because you never goes who's going to work through the door. So sort of taking that away from the pub industry was amazing. You know, organisational skills were not massively used, but the customer service was brilliant. So taking that into the course, I was probably the least experienced person there as far as going to the gym, even because I didn't start going to the gym until about a year before I became personal trainer. And that's when, sort of in the pub industry, it was almost like, well, I've stopped eating and drinking what I'm selling because I started going to the gym, I'm eating a lot healthier, what I thought was healthy at the time anyway. So I wasn't really selling what I was working as. So I thought, what's the point in this? And then, you know, something sort of come up out of the blue. So when I went down that route, I sort of looked at myself like I'm probably the worst person here, sort of body shape wise and, you know, fitness level wise, etc., etc. But then I was probably the most outgoing, the friendliest, the most approachable. And obviously everything you taught is all bones, muscles, how to do certain exercise, etc. Nothing on most courses, even to this day, are how to speak to people, how to sell something to someone, how to relate to an 18-year-old or an 88-year-old. You know, so that is what I had in my locker, which was sort of quite good. And like I said, I used this sort of common sense to think there's 15, 20 people in my class, we're all going to be finishing on the same day. I need to go and get ahead of everyone else because, again, they look different to how I look, they train different to how I train, and get ahead of them by sourcing a job on the weekend whilst I was still on my course, basically. So I already had a job lined up at the end of my course, which is obviously a good thing to get ahead of everyone else.
So you talk about kind of skills that you've brought from the hospitality industry, right? So being on a bar, I've done it myself. I used to work at a bar at uni and spent a year out of uni doing it. It's an absolutely amazing experience to meet a lot of people and speak to a lot of people, and it kind of builds up your people skills. And not everyone is going to come into the industry with that level of experience in interacting with a lot of people, but how important would you say that is to focus your attention on learning those skills if you don't have them, if you're going into the personal training industry?
Oh, massively, because again, you're going to be on a day-to-day basis in the gym, and another reason which we'll probably speak about at some point, I always say to people, I want to be a personal trainer. well, you need to go and work in a gym. Oh, no, I don't want to work in a gym. I want to be a personal trainer. You've got to go and experience that, because if you go straight into personal training, or if I hadn't had that experience in hospitality and gone straight into a gym, I've got people all different ages, heights, shapes, shy people, in-your-face people that are coming up to you asking you questions. And again, I'm sort of fairly happy that I can adapt to most people. That if a little shy old lady come up to me, I could probably speak to her on her level. If some sort of 25-year-old muscle like God come up to me, again, I could have a bit of a laugh with him at his level. So I think that, in my opinion, is probably not something you can learn now, unfortunately. I think you're either a people person or you're not. You've got shy personal trainers, don't get me wrong, and sometimes people that are more shy are very, very academic and very on the ball with what they're giving. So sometimes a trainer can adapt to them, but I think you've generally got to adapt to the client rather than the other way around. But it depends what you've sort of done in a previous job. If there's anything that, like transferable skills, everyone talks about, if there's anything you can bring across with you, perfect.
You mentioned there that it might not be the case that everyone could become good with people, or everyone might not have those abilities, or they might not be able to learn them. But what would you say, right, if someone just started out in a gym and maybe they're not the most interactive person, and they know they need to speak to people, they know they need to build relationships and create awareness, what would you say to those people who may be struggling a little bit to interact with people, even though they know they need to do it?
Yeah, the thing is, it's finding a common ground. It's, if even everyone was on holiday, for example, everyone speaks to everyone because they've got a shared interest. They're on holiday together. Being in the gym is no different. Even if you think, oh God, someone over there, they look different to how I look, or they've probably been a member for 5 years and it's my second day on the job. You've got a common interest. You're in the gym. They're in there to improve the way they look, improve their health, etc. Your job is to help people improve the way they look, improve their health. So you've got a common interest. If you walk past, can you be the shyest person, if you can sort of just mutter 2 or 3 words like, oh, you're all right, how are you doing? What are you training today? If you get like, there's a response, then you think, okay, I'll go to the next person. But if you don't sort of keep trying, you're never going to break that barrier within yourself, or potentially with another member. The ones that, saying it, I've got headphones and I'm waffling onto you, but people that have got headphones on generally don't want to talk to people in the gym, so don't even waste your time speaking to them straight off. But you can always catch your eye, give them a little wave, say hello to them when they come into the gym, and that's where a lot of gyms, or people that work in gyms, fail, because the second you walk in, I don't know about the gym you go to, but you walk in, the 2 instructors standing behind the gym desk talking to each other. They're not selling to each other. They're not, that's not their business. They work for each other. Your business is just walk straight through the front door, swiped in, looked at you, seen the back of your head, and carried on walking. Now, if you want a personal trainer, you're definitely not going to employ one of those 2. So people are missing simple little tricks of like, oh, hi, how you doing? That potentially is going to open up that person to talk to you. And you might think, oh, bugger, I don't want them to actually talk to me because I'm shy. But again, you're going to start interacting, and if you've got 2 or 3 people on the gym floor that are almost like your go-to people, that, oh, Alex, how you doing? Speak to you every single day, but you sort of come over, oh, hi, how you doing? When someone else comes and says, oh, can you show me this? You're more approachable because you're already on the gym floor speaking.
No, I totally agree, and I think the important thing to take away from that is you don't have to go in with big conversations. You don't have to be able to hold your own for 2, 3, 4 minutes. Like you said, you just take baby steps and just start interacting with people and build up your tolerance to speaking to people, but just break down those little barriers. And it's just like another inch, another hello, another hi. Then it becomes, hey, how are you? How's your weekend? And then you lead more into organic conversations and it doesn't feel forced. But it's like anything. You wouldn't jump on a squat rack and do 150 kilograms squat if it's your first go. It's kind of the same when it comes to interacting with people. You build the weight up, you build the pressure or the level of discomfort is going to increase over time, or it's going to get easier over time as you do more and more of it. And I think this is kind of a trap for a lot of trainers. most trainers I speak to are not actively going out there and speaking to people because they fear being rejected. Or the other one is ego, right? They feel like they shouldn't have to put themselves out there. People should just come to them.
Exactly.
Which actually is damaging their business and their potential income.
No, definitely. I think so many people, and not sort of pigeonholing a certain sort of age demographic, but again, from the experience, I'm one of those sad people that likes going into gyms and even looking around gyms and having an induction when I've no intention of joining, just because I love looking around gyms. But you sort of see a certain demographic of like the sort of maybe the 18 to sort of 23-year-olds, and again, not all those people in that age bracket are going to be exactly the same, but it tends to be those people, because they've got a personal trainer on their back, they think they can sit behind the gym desk and you're going to come wandering up saying, oh, hi, can I have a personal training session with you? Just because they've got it plastered on their back. It doesn't work like that.
No.
Like I said, if they're not out there making a conscious effort to build that rapport, it's just like online training. It's like, oh, online training, I'm now an online trainer. But if you haven't got anything to back it up, like a bit of gentle conversation to get to that point of sale, you're not going to make a sale. People buy people at the end of the day. So if you're not going to go out and be a person and speak to people, just because you've called yourself a personal trainer on your back, doesn't mean anything.
No, exactly. And it's kind of like the whole Instagram thing right now, where entrepreneur is quite a popular thing. To be an entrepreneur, you see it, right? Everyone's got their Instagram handle, public figure or entrepreneur. But are they a successful entrepreneur, or are they just someone that's tried to be an entrepreneur? And it's kind of the same with personal training. Like, you can have personal training on your back, but unless you're willing to go out there and get business, then you're not a successful personal trainer. There's a difference. And you can be one or the other. You can be just a personal trainer and wait for people to come to you, or you can get proactive, like I like to say, and get more comfortable with hearing no, because you're in the business of more no's than yeses, and go out there and get the business. Go out there and speak to people. Go out there and build relationships, make offers, get people into taster sessions, be prepared to give things away for free, then take them through a process, position the value, show them what you've got, and then turn them into a client.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And so many people, I'm sure you've heard it yourself, like, oh yeah, but I don't want to be too salesy. Well, if you sort of word it in a way, at the end of the day, you're a service. So people know that your job is to technically sell them that service. But you've got to almost make them buy into your way of thinking. Not saying that everyone's going to want your service, not saying that you're going to fit everyone that wants that service. If you're talking about fat loss and 80% of people that go to the gym want to lose fat, you've got a massive market. But again, if you're not approaching them nicely, even in oh hi Alex, how you doing? If you sort of can't start off just doing that, like you said, you're not going to build up to a rapport, to a conversation, to a sit down, to a free taster, to a block session, to a repeated block session. It just all comes with literally like, hi, how you doing? Because if you're a brand new member especially, like you could have been the very first person they've seen in that gym, and if you've got your back to them, you've lost that relationship.
No, it's true. And I walk into gyms myself, and I'm actively trying to make eye contact with trainers to see what the reaction is, right? Because I'm interested. I'm a bit of a geek like you, right? So you're going in, you're getting inductions, you're looking at gyms. I'm looking at trainers and I'm going, okay, what are they doing? I'm walking straight in. Like you said, there'll be two of them together. Nothing, no eye contact. I'll hang around the PT board. I'll wait, just like a sitting duck, see if anyone approaches me. And I've been in my gym for a while now, this new one, not been approached once. No one has offered me a free taster session. No one's engaged and made a conversation with me. And there's tons of trainers in there, and I'm in there consistently. But this thing about being salesy, like, it's not about being salesy. Yes, you're there to sell something, but you're also there to provide value and help people achieve a certain result. And if you create a product or a service or build a skill set that can actually help people, it shouldn't feel like selling anyway. It should feel like helping.
No.
That's the level you want to get your service to, is a helping service versus one that you have to sell.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And it's like, and sort of elaborating on that a little bit more, like with the sort of the helping service, you want to eventually be the go-to person in your gym for that service. So again, where I was saying before, like, you know, you might sort of speak to the shy little old lady, the sort of the fat loss client, and then like the bodybuilding client. Unfortunately, you can't potentially, we could, but you shouldn't aim in your sort of market at all three of them, because if 1 minute you're training a bodybuilder, then the next minute you're training someone else, and someone else, you know, you're going to potentially confuse your message. Obviously, in a corporate gym, don't get me wrong, you can bounce off every single wall and train everyone, fine. But so many times when you see that, you tend to see a trainer doing 4 or 5 sessions back to back, and it's exactly the same session. There's no thought process in it. It's just because, again, they've gone up to every single person in the gym. Like my favourite expression is a monkey with a machine gun, because a monkey with a machine gun goes, fires the bullets everywhere, catches everyone, but they haven't honed in on a specific client that they want to train. Yes, initially, when you're trying to build up clients, you might think, well, I can't afford to do that. Fine.
Yeah,
because
valid.
you do need to experience training everyone, in my opinion, because day one on a gym floor, you're not going to know, right, I want to train men between 25 and 35 that want to lose half a stone of body fat. You probably won't know that the first day in your gym. If you sort of get a couple of clients that want to lose a bit of fat, that want to tone up, that want to run a marathon next year, you know, you're going to service them all. But as time goes by, you need to start honing in on a certain demographic, a certain niche, everyone loves that word, that you want to go and aim at.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you went down that kind of the niche angle, but you also said at the start, it's important to try, taste, figure out what you like, what you dislike, do the volume, get the results, maybe not get the results, find what you are not good at and what you're good at, and then hone in, then niche down, and then get good at fixing that particular problem versus trying to fix everyone's problem. This comes up time and time again with everyone that I speak to, and everyone I'm sure that you speak to, is like, it's so important to figure out your target audience and find someone that you genuinely can help and want to help, and then just get really good at doing that thing, because eventually you're going to build a really good business, because people are going to seek you, you're going to be able to charge more, and you're going to retain customers because you're going to get better results, and then that's going to create more demand later down the line, and you're going to get much more satisfaction because you'll be actually making a difference versus building kind of like multiple production lines where you're chopping and changing all the time into different styles of training with different problems, doing this and doing that, and then you just become average at all of them, and never really reach your full potential. I mean, what are some of the steps that you would take then in order? So if you were just trying to figure out your niche, is there kind of like a process that you would go through to kind of specialize and really improve your skills in a specific area to get those really good results?
Yeah, I think like when I sort of trained back in the day, when I was sort of an active personal trainer, I would say 80% of my clients were women looking for fat loss. I think still to this day, that is probably 80% of the market out there, women who want to lose body fat. So I could potentially dust off my boots and get back out on it. But
get back in it, Carl. Get back out there.
Why not? I do get the itch, I must admit. But I think sort of whatever I say to my learners, for example, when they're sort of entering like the beginning of their sort of personal training career, almost from day one, like the first time I sit down with them, I say, who's your target market? And they look at me so blankly, like, I've not even thought of that. I've not even looked at the workbook, let alone, I've no idea. I'm like, right, how do you train? What have you got expertise in? And like one that's just come to mind, for example, she's like a single mum, she's gone on a bit of a body transformation, and she would love to help people do exactly the same, that can train around their kids, that haven't really got time, so she's going to offer shorter sessions, etc., etc. And like I said, this is the first time we've met, and I almost said to her, you pretty much just told me your business model. She's like, what do you mean? I said, you just said who you want to target, sort of mums, you know, don't be single mums, be single parents, for example, mums, dads, whatever, but it's the people that have got childcare issues, that want shorter workouts, that aren't sure what to eat, that are probably eating what they're feeding their kids, as we all do, like snack one fish finger for you, one for me type thing. Everyone does it. But it's sort of educating them how they can eat better, how their kids can eat better, and maybe offering either group training or shorter sessions. And when I said that back, she's like, that's exactly how I want to train. I was like, perfect. Now let's get your course done and get on with it. But, it's sort of, she's used her own experiences. So I think, again, when I was in the pub industry, I started going to the gym about last sort of however long, sort of when I was in the pub industry, and I lost 2.5 stone in 3 months purely by changing my diet, going to the gym. So in my break during the day, rather than sleeping and watching DVD and falling asleep upstairs in my room above the pub, I would walk to the gym, have an hour's workout, walk back to the gym, pub even, forgetting which way I was going, back to the pub, have a healthier option for lunch. And like I said, weight fell off me. So because I sort of had that backstory, I could relate to people that are trying to lose body fat. So again, sometimes it's obvious who your niche market is, even if you don't understand what, again, all these flipping people say about niche market, etc. But if you don't understand what that is, sometimes it's obvious. Because if you've got a transformation yourself, if you've ever competed in bodybuilding or athletics, for example, that tends to be the people that are going to come to you and go, oh, you've done this, can you help me do it? So if you've got all those people coming to you, go, oh, you've lost loads of weight, can you help me? Oh, you've been an athlete, can you help me? You're going to start finding that you've got a certain area. And what you said a second ago about sort of trying to sort of change what you're offering all the time. So if you're a fat loss expert, if you want to call yourself that, and you sort of go on that fat loss journey with that client, there's nothing stopping them after that sort of 3-4 month period of then putting them onto a different type program. So yes, you're sort of known as like the fat loss person, but then after that, they're going to have a different goal. They're going to want to strengthen or whatever it may be. So then you sort of gear them to something else. You can still advertise over here, but then you're sort of putting them down almost like a funnel of like, right, you're going to go from fat loss to this, to this.
No, I love that.
And then maintain them.
Yeah, I love that because it's kind of like your core offering. So like your core offering is the fat loss. And then once you've obviously achieved those results with them, then they're going to have a different goal because they're going to evolve as a client. But you can still facilitate that. You don't have to go, nope, I don't do anything but fat loss. You can still maintain that client because you're going to still have those skills. But it was really interesting what you said is about kind of looking within when it comes to deciding on your niche, or looking back at what you did specifically yourself, because that'll be a good kind of indication of who you could train, who you should be training, or who you would like training. Because if you've done something yourself, you're interested, you must be. Or if you've done something yourself, it knows you can achieve that type of thing. So like you said, it could be competing, could be strength and weightlifting, or it could be the fat loss journey that you've gone on yourself, and that's going to be a good indication of what you can offer other people, because it creates that relatability. People want to relate all the time. Oh, you were here and now you're here. I want to go through that journey as well. Take me through the journey. I think it's really important that people talk more about their story, their message, and the transformations they went through, because that helps with sales. If you can sit someone down and said, I was exactly where you were 12 months ago, 2 years ago. I was unhappy, I was unhealthy, I was overweight, I was eating badly. Then I made some changes because I realized that I couldn't go on like this. I had to make some changes. So I started with my diet. I did that. I lost a stone. Then I worked on my exercise. I lost another stone. Then from there, it was maintenance and chipping away and learning new things. And now I've developed a program which is specifically designed to help people that were just like me. And you're a perfect client for me. So let's get you signed up and let's take you through the program. Then it's not really sales. Exactly. It's you're relating with someone and you're just taking them through the same process that you went through. You're not selling to them.
No, exactly. And like you said, it's relatable. So if they're like, you know, everyone, and I'm sure everyone listening to this has had the client like, oh yeah, no, I can't do that. Oh no, I can't do that. We can, and if you can use yourself as an example, that I've done it, I've got kids, I've done this, you know, oh, but I can't come to gym because of this. Well, I've done that. Do you know what I mean? So if you can not always have an answer for everything they're going to throw at you, but like I said, it's you know, if they come to you and go, oh, I want to step on stage, but you haven't. But then if you go, well, this client has that I've had previously, and so is this one and this one. It's almost like they're testing the water. Like, oh, well, yeah, but I've got kids. You haven't. Well, I've got kids. You know, someone else has got kids. I've trained. I train this person. They can only do like 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, there's always a way around it. But I think some people almost test the water, almost push back a little bit. So, like I said, if you can sort of relate to them and almost go, look, here's my journey, or I've taken so and so on this journey. They've had exactly the same issues as you. They sat here 6 months ago telling me the same problems. They've said to me they can't exercise because of X, Y, Z, and now they've lost 2.5 stone and they're doing whatever. Do you know what I mean? So if you can sort of relate it either to yourself, your own journey, or use clients, past clients, then they're going to sort of buy into that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And what you mentioned there kind of like triggered a thought for me. Do you know when people kind of say, well, I've got kids, or I've got this, or I've got that? It's not necessarily an objection. They're more thinking, I can't make this happen because of X, because of this, because of that. They almost don't believe in themselves enough, and so they're throwing these things out there to see if you accept it as well. So they're going, well, I've got kids, and then they're expecting you to go, yeah, it's probably going to be difficult with kids.
Yeah.
And that's what they're hoping for, because they want to feel better about themselves if they can't achieve it. But it's our jobs as coaches and people that are helping others to help them believe that they can achieve it by giving them examples, but also being good at what we do, of course. And that's why it's so important to draw on those examples. Obviously, that's going to be harder in the earlier days, isn't it, Karl? Because not everyone's going to have case studies, testimonials, and things that they can show. But I would say to anyone in kind of that situation is do some stuff for free. Like, there's nothing wrong with perfecting your skills, taking on some sort of case studies, like people that you can train for 4 weeks with the view to getting some good feedback and testimonials and using that as collateral and assets. I see a lot of people that are scared to give away things for free because they almost feel like it's devaluing their product or service, when actually it's increasing the value over time, right? Yeah. It's long-term thinking versus short-term thinking. We do it in our business. We give so much away for free because we want to build relationships and we want to test things and perfect it and refine it so that it's better for the next person, and so we can demand a higher fee later on because we know it's going to work.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, and especially, like I said, I come in the industry like 15 years ago, and I think personal trainers held their cards very close to their chest. Like, if you were a new personal trainer and you went up to sort of the person, I'm the sort of person that did it, I would go up to the top personal trainer in the gym and almost be like, how do you do what you do? And luckily, the top one in my gym at the time was very helpful. But the couple underneath him that didn't have as many clients were very much, if you'd said that to them, oh, can I shadow a session? They'd look at you like, what the hell? Whereas now, I'd encourage personal trainers to do that with each other, because there's no harm in, even if you and I had done exactly the same session, if I ripped off your session to the second, at the end of the day, they'd potentially choose you over me because they know you and they don't know me. Or they like the way that you approach the session and they don't like the way I approach the session. It could be exactly the same session, but people by people, like I said. So I think a lot of PTs need to either sort of put their heads together, try and get like a little support group. There's so many support groups now on Facebook, etc. Not all of them are worth being in and end up in arguments, etc. But there is a lot of free advice out there, like you said. We give free advice, you give free advice, I give free advice. And what I used to do in one of my gyms I worked in, I was literally bored one day, and I can't remember, I must have seen an advert for like Slimming World or Weight Watchers or something like that. And obviously it used to be done on a point system, Weight Watchers. I don't know what it is now. But I basically typed up, sort of have you, before I knew the definite ins and outs, sort of typed up this scheme of having 5 meals a day, you get a point for each meal, and then for every 10 minutes of exercise, you get a point. So if you've done 50 minutes exercise and 5 meals a day, you get 10 points a day. And then averaged it out X amount over the week, which worked out that you're going to be working out for at least 3 or 4 times a week and having 5 meals a day, most days, a couple of days where you might miss it. And basically done a bit of a backstory. At the time I was living with my nan, bless her. and I'd sort of be eating my chicken and rice every day, go home, oh, have you eaten, Carl? Yeah. Oh, I've just done some sandwiches, a whole flipping plate of sandwiches. So I sort of wrote this, it was a bit of a rant to my nan, she never knew about it. But I wrote this thing up saying, like, if you're anything like me, you're gonna, you might be living at home still, or whatever it may be. You probably not know what to eat, or you're eating to sort of please someone else. But if you stick to this, and I've printed off about 20 of them with this little sort of guide and this point system, put it on the gym desk, obviously my name, phone number at the bottom. Sort of went off shift that day, come in next morning, and it all gone. And the people coming up to me and going, oh, I saw that guide, I was reading it when I was waiting for an induction, but I didn't take one, can I have one? And in my opinion, they weren't even that good, but it was just free advice that was easy to follow, give them a bit of exercise guidance, a bit of nutrition guidance, and because they could relate to me, with my little old nan, it was like, oh, can I have one? Can I have one? And I was just like printing them out all the time. I had to make them look good in the end. It was just literally a Word document that I just knocked up in like 10 minutes. But stuff like that, again, not all gyms will allow that because it's got to be branded and it's got to look the David Lloyd way, for example. But if you can give out content online or here, download this, take an email address, you're sort of giving stuff out there because people will look at your website, they'll look at your Instagram, they'll ask for recommendations. They won't come straight up to you and go, right, Alex, I want to book 20 sessions. They won't do that. They will look at the free stuff you're giving away. If you're saying something on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, people will look at it. You won't know they're looking, but they will look at it. They'll look at you from a distance before they make that decision to buy.
No, that's a really good bit of insight, and it can be really powerful. And it's kind of what I think of as like a more of a nurtured approach. So you're kind of nurturing the audience by giving value. You're giving stuff, and you're building your awareness, and you're getting people to kind of take interest by giving first versus trying to take first. And this is the same kind of strategy that we've just been rolling out with one of my clients who's a mum actually, and she's a really good cook. She's really good with nutrition, and she loves creating recipes and doing stuff at home, and she's really creative. So she created like a nice little 6-page recipe document with photos that she took herself and put it on Canva and printed it out and made a digital copy. And we've been taking that asset, we've been slicing it up into smaller segments, creating social media posts out of it, creating stories out of it, and encouraging people to engage and request more info, and then going into the direct messages and then giving them more info and then offering them complimentary taster sessions on top, but also in the gym. So giving them out to people, going around the gym saying, I've got an email list and I've got this great recipe little pamphlet I'd like to give you. What's your email address? Add them to the email list, build the email list, send out weekly emails, nurture the people, and then in the emails put in a little message. I'm offering some free tasters this week. If anyone wants to grab some, I've got these 3 slots available. And it's just kind of like subtle way of building momentum, building an audience by giving. I'm a big believer in give. Plant seeds everywhere. Keep watering them every day or every week. Plant some more seeds. And if you do that consistently over time, you'll be surprised that leads are just coming from random places all of a sudden, and you'll be generating business.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like, I can't remember the analogy I was just going to say then, but it's even like, if you've taken one of those free recipe booklets, for example, you might be speaking to someone in the change room that's got one as well, but then the 3 or 4 or 5 other people in that change room haven't got one. All of a sudden, they're doing the marketing for you.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about, oh, did you try that recipe that so-and-so done? Oh, yeah, it's on page 3, isn't it? Oh, yeah. 4 or 5 other people have all of a sudden gone, hold on, I want some of that. Where did you get that from? And you're going to get people selling and passing on your content. And again, everyone talks about social media. You need to do something that goes viral. 15 years ago, making myself sound old, I didn't have Facebook or Instagram and all that sort of rubbish. So, like you said, putting a recipe book on the gym desk, here, drop down your email address, or if there's a pile of them, take one, they're free type thing.
Yeah.
Having your number, your email address on there, that is a viral post, is what it would be nowadays. Do you know what I mean? Because, like I said, it's going to spread around the gym. You're going to have to start printing more off. They're going to go and tell their other friend, you go to a different gym, and, you're just going to sort of spread organically. But again, it's by giving free stuff away.
Yeah, 100%. And it's being consistent as well. And you can't just expect to do something once and boom, your business explodes, you're fully booked, you're charging £50 an hour and you've got a queue out the door. Business does not work like that. You have to be consistent. So yeah, you can create this batch of amazing recipes and hand them all out, or free workouts, but then do it again the next month. Fresh start, create a new one, batch it up, give it out. And this is not going to be the right strategy for everyone. Some people are going to be more talkers and they'll just want to hit the gym floor, chat to people, get them into a session. But this is a really good kind of angle that people could work. And if they got a little bit more creative and decided to just give first, then you're going to receive back. Because generally what you put out, you do get back. That's pretty much how the world works. It's, isn't it? Reciprocity, right?
Definitely.
You give out and you generally will get back. That's how it goes. But people are too quick to just take and wonder why they're not getting anything, because they're not giving enough.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like you said, with the consistency thing, I think when I've done that little sort of score sheet thing for exercise nutrition, I've probably done it once because I thought, a bit bored, do this. Sold, well, didn't sell, but do you know what I mean? It sort of went like hotcakes. But then what I'd say to anyone listening to this, great idea, go and do it, but map how it plays out. So for example, like you said, if you do a recipe one in month 1, month 2, do an exercise one, month 3, do another one, you've got to think that is potentially part of your business. So if you think, right, month 1 I'm going to do this, month 2 I'm going to do that, 3, 4, you've got a plan for like 6 months, because like I said, if you hand out one recipe book, they might wait for the second or third book before they come back to you and go, right, I now want to book a session. But if number 2 appears, and then all of a sudden you think, right, it's not working, I'll try something else, you've lost potential sales because they might have been waiting for the third or fourth before they commit to a sale.
Yeah,
because
100%.
again, you're not going to know, especially in that sort of way, because you're not going to know if you're not going to see every single person picking one up. So you can't like match it down and go, right, Carl took one, so-and-so took one. You can't do that, unfortunately, because they're going to be taken when you're not there. So you need to have a bit of a strategy in place for, right, I'm going to put out recipes, workout, then this, then that, then the other, and just almost track it to see that people are taking it, people are engaging. If someone does come up and say, I've seen your recipe book, log it down somewhere. I got X amount of clients from that recipe book. I've got X amount of clients from my free sessions. I've got so-and-so from word of mouth. And then at first, it's going to be a bit, not intimidating, it's one word, it's going to be a bit overwhelming, sort of gathering all this data when you don't really know what to do with it. But looking back now, if I'd gathered data and email addresses back in the day, my business could have scaled massively. But you don't think about it, unfortunately, especially when you're a new PT. You just think what's in front of you. You don't think long term, which you said a second ago. You've got to think of a long-term business strategy. And unfortunately, personal training is a business. You're not just a personal trainer, you're a personal training business. And you need to have sort of a blueprint of what that business is going to look like, how you're going to gather leads, how you're tracking leads, email addresses, etc., etc.
No, I love that. I love that you said that, because I'm very pro KPIs, tracking numbers, because they generally don't lie. And I'm a marketing guy and a sales guy. I run an agency, and it is all about, I'm spending X here. What am I getting on return of what return am I getting on my investment? And it's the same with being a PT. You're exchanging X amount of time for X amount of pounds back based on how many people sign up and they stay with you. So you're going to be expending certain amounts of energy and time on these activities, which could be creating these flyers, hitting the gym floor, creating a referral scheme, posting on social media, calling local companies, giving flyers, giving away free sessions. But you need to be looking at the numbers and tracking it and going, wait a minute, they're all coming from here and it's not really costing me a lot of time.
No.
Why don't I take some of these resources of time from over here, double down on this, and then we can scale twice as fast without spending any more money or expending more energy or time. We're just focusing on the right things. But I don't really think a lot of PTs are looking at it at this level.
No, and that's the sad thing, because it's, you and me sort of sitting here saying it, and people go, oh yeah, you two know because you've done it. which is fine, point. But then it's almost like to you and me, we're saying the most basic sales techniques. But what sort of bugs me is that the gym managers don't always care because you're paying them rent. So as long as you're paying them rent, they can really care less if you're there or not. Because if you disappear, they'll just get someone else in to pay rent. And then the other PTs potentially might be helping you out, but then they might not be doing the right things. So if you're learning from another personal trainer, they might be telling you wrong information, or unfortunately you've been paired up to shadow a lazy personal trainer, the one that is chatting to you and distracting you on the gym desk. So it is listening to things like this and going and sort of almost looking at business-related podcasts, business-related books, etc., that are going to help you, because at the end of the day, you are a business. Yes, you need to learn how to improve someone's squat over time, for example, how someone can track their macros properly, and you can pass on that stuff, but that should almost be of interest. That's going to be stuff that you're a personal trainer, a gym manager, whatever you may be already. So you should have a basic understanding of that. But it's the business side that people don't understand. And even me saying that word in about 3 or 4 times in a couple of sentences, the business side, people are thinking, oh, that's boring, no business. It's bloody not, because like you said, you're a KPI guy. And even sort of going back to the gym floor, I would always sort of almost play a game with myself that, right, I'm going to go and speak to 5 people today and get 5 people's names, find out something about them. And then straight away, over the next couple of weeks, oh, John, you all right? How's the missus? You've got a new connection. And if you do that, 2, 3, 4, 5 people a day that you've never spoke to before, after 2 or 3 weeks, you've got like 20, 30 people that you can now go and speak to. And again, if you're on the gym floor, you might not have a single client, but if you're speaking to 20, 30 people, and I want a PT, and I can see you walking the floor chatting to everyone, God, he looks good. I'm not doing anything, I'm just saying hello to people. But because I'm interacting and everyone knows my name, I know everyone's name, you look like the go-to person in your gym already.
And I want to go back to the point about business, because you said that people might find it boring or uninteresting, and that's probably why they generally avoid it, and they just want to do all the health-based stuff, nutrition-based stuff, because that interests them. And that's fine, and that's cool. Like, stick to what you like doing. That's what life's about. But these things are going to help you do that more and at a higher level, and it's going to facilitate you to buy more things, to buy more education, invest in more things that you want to invest in, because you've learned how to actually build a business that brings money into your pocket. So you're going to have to do some stuff that you may not like, but you need to kind of think more than just that day or that week of investing into it, and think longer term. If you learn a new strategy, a new email campaign, a new way to advertise on social media, a new way to speak to people on the gym floor that you didn't necessarily want to learn or didn't enjoy doing, once you've picked up that skill, it's going to serve you in a way that you are going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy the money it makes you. Trust me.
Exactly.
And then it's going to give you the income you want to invest in more education, to do a level 4 in personal training, to go and do a strength and conditioning course. It's about reverse engineering what you want and then going, okay, I need to learn this part of the business in order to facilitate the thing I want over here. And that will be often some kind of sales, marketing or business part of it, because that's what's going to make the income. It's not the product delivery. That's the second part to the business.
No, definitely. And that's the thing. And like, even like, one of my favourite things on level 3, like level 3 personal training course changed towards the end of last year. So some people might not have done the new version, but SMART goals have generally been on the level 3 courses for years. And it's always in 3-month blocks on level 3. And the way I deliver it is you start at month 3. So, right, you speak to your client, what they want to lose. Let's just say, for example, 3 kg. So you work back. So month 3 is 3 kg. That means month 2 they would have lost 2 kg. And obviously 1 month, 1 kg. Yeah. And it's no different to what you're saying there. And even not stealing something that Ben Coomber said on your podcast you had him on. Whereas initially when he set out his business, it was for him and his missus to go on a nice holiday. So, and even, how sad is this? I even remember it was a £1,500 per person holiday. That's sad, wasn't it? You're going to listen back now. If that was
I'm going to listen into it. Did he actually say that? I don't even remember, because I was there in the moment. Yeah, good one.
Exactly. So, yeah, you probably weren't listening. That's not good, is it? £500. If you sell your block sessions for £500, you know you've got to sell 3 block sessions, maybe 4, once you take out expenses, etc., to afford that holiday.
Yeah.
So again, people do view business, it's a bit boring, but then technically that's what that is. If you think, right, to sell that in 3 months' time, using your sort of smart goal format, to sell X amount of block bookings, I need to walk the gym floor and speak to, say, for example, 50 people to get potentially 10 email addresses, to arrange 5 calls, to arrange 3 face-to-face meetups to book 1 client.
Yeah.
Maybe not 50 down to 1, but do you know what I mean? They've got to start thinking, right, I've got to do this to generate that, that's going to generate that, that's going to lead to this, that's going to book that holiday. So people are potentially thinking along those lines anyway, and where most people almost fail at, and I keep saying like the business side, is because they're not tracking it. So if you've gone and spoke to X amount of people, it's turned into 1 lead, or like you said a second ago, are they tracking where that lead's come from? If they're giving out the flyers, has it got a way of tracking it on it? Has it got like a flyer number or a promo code that if someone goes on your website or texts you going, flyer?
Or you could ask people as well when they come down, how did you get to here? How did you get to this point? Where did you see me? I do it when I get on a call with people, like, where did you see me? Did you hear me on the podcast? Was it a Facebook ad? Was it Instagram post? Did someone refer you? Because I'm interested. I want to know where my time should be spent. If they're all coming from the same place, I'm going in on that. They're all coming from LinkedIn. I'm heading over to LinkedIn straight after that call. Post more, right? And that's how it should be. But you said something there, which is kind of what Stephen Covey says in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is basically begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
So begin with where you want to be, and then reverse engineer it back with the stats, like you said. You have to speak to X to get a client. And once you figure out the maths, you know how much work you need to do, and then you're no longer walking around with no strategy and confusion, because you know, actually, I need to speak to 3 people today if I want to get to that income goal over there that's going to get me to Bali next year.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, and even I indirectly do it not with that intention, but it just always comes up because, like going back to my female learner, for example, first meeting, what's your target market? I'm really talking to her about that end goal, because with that end goal in sight, you're going to carry on. So if you're a personal trainer that wants a Range Rover in 2 years' time, you know that's going to cost like a certain amount of money. You know that money has got to, equal 20 sessions a week, whatever it may be. So you know the end goal is there. How am I going to get it? It's going to cost this much. I need to bring in this much a month. To bring in this much a month is going to be this amount of clients, minus my rent. Ta-da, there's your target. You're setting yourself targets. Because again, so many gyms, from even like the big gyms are generally going to target you to bring in a certain amount of clients because they want a cut of what you're giving.
Yeah.
If you're just paying £400 or £500 in a gym and they just pretty much let you get on with it, who's giving you targets? You need to be giving yourself targets.
Yeah, 100%. So let's move it on a little bit. Let's shift gears into the PT Mentor, your company, and why you wanted to set it up and the whole ethos behind it. Because obviously we had a chat off record when we first spoke, and you revealed some things that really resonated with me in the way that I like to do things. So it'd be kind of interesting to know why you wanted to set that up and what is your whole philosophy. Sorry, I'm mincing my words here. Philosophy behind kind of the whole company and the way you deliver the training.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I've worked for some of the largest training providers in the country in the sort of 9 years that I've been doing this, and all of them are numbers orientated, which is completely what I just said a second ago, personal training, but I'm going somewhere with it. But it's almost like conveyor belt of personal trainers. Majority of them done classroom delivery. We'd have 15, 20 people in a class, and it was in and out in about 8 weeks, sort of over weekends, so just Saturday, Sunday for 8 weeks, in and out, there's your certificate, there's the door, see you later. Next, the very next weekend, it would be another load. If you didn't pass your course the first time, you'd have to turn up a part of this course as well, which I'm sure some people listening might have been in that situation. And you've got a mixture of people that again, have been sort of through their own transformation, they're athletes, etc. They go to the gym, or they obviously just want to change the lives of themselves or other people. But unfortunately, the way that some of these courses work is that they go and almost drag people off the street. So you might be quite in depth in your own knowledge, but then you sit next to someone who's just turned up because they thought it was a free course. So the standard is very up and down. A conveyor belt sort of going along with the standard being up and down is just not an environment I wanted to be delivering in. So again, being vocal, I sort of said, we should be doing this, should be doing that. As it's a large national company, you haven't really got much to say. It's like, there's your target. And again, being targeted to complete learners after a certain date, if you need more time, if you need more guidance, tough. Well, Alex has got to be finished by the end of April, getting through his course. Well, he's not ready to finish. Tough. To help him out. Which, in other words, spoon-feeding information just to get him off your books to bring in another learner. So I sort of didn't like that. Went down the freelancing route instead, sort of just turning up, assessing people's practical sessions, etc. Again, when I sort of pass people, I'd always give them really good insight, like, you've done this really well, going forward, do this. In real life, you're going to be doing X, Y, Z. And they'd be, but my tutor said this. And I'd almost have to bite my tongue, be like, I wouldn't do that really, but I'll do this. Sort of trying to sneak in with loads of information. Because I'm in a freelance, I'm not that bothered if I'm going against what the tutor's saying, unfortunately, because they might be giving them false information, etc., or sort of outdated information. But then I started thinking, again, they're just whizzing people through. There's no aftercare, there's no career progression, they don't really care if you pass or fail, because if you don't, they've still got their money. And you just sort of get spoon-fed information until you do pass. So I thought, sod this, I'm going to start my own business. Called it the PT Mentor UK, and with the philosophy of not just giving you the qualification, we want to help you build a career. So teaching them basics like marketing, sales, branding, Facebook ads, how to use LinkedIn, how to use Facebook Messenger, whatever it may be, and even like the basic stuff, like we were saying a second ago, like writing out basic stuff or going and speaking to people on the gym floor. I want to try and pass on all my experience to my learners.
Got you. So the mission really and the ethos is to deliver better quality education that's going to help people succeed versus just churning them out into the industry with kind of no real afterthought about whether they're going to survive or not.
Yeah, massively. And the average time span of a personal trainer is 2 years. And it's like those first 2 years, you're probably shadowing other trainers, trying to build a client base, but then it starts whittling down and you haven't got many clients. You need to go and get a part-time job. Your part-time job's offering you more than your full-time PT job. So people think, sod this. So they go and work full-time, back in an office or whatever they're doing previously and do a bit of PT on the side. It's not how it should be. Like, why are the companies not telling you how to scale your business? And like there's companies like yourself, obviously, who've got a brilliant place in the market because course providers don't tell you this. But then there's also, unfortunately, people that don't add any value and say, sign up to my Facebook ads campaign. If you're not using Facebook ads, you need to be doing this. It's $5,000. And because everyone's told Facebook ads are amazing, people go and sort of fall for this stuff. But if they're not doing their day-to-day speaking to a real-life person in the gym very well, what's the point in using Facebook ads anyway? Yeah,
because even when you get the leads, you're not going to be able to convert them anyway if you've not got any people skills or you've not got a sales process to take them through to convert them. So you're just going to be pissing money up the wall effectively.
Exactly. That's the thing, and it's like we've said it already a couple of times. Like, it's a long-term game sometimes, personal training, and it's like everyone's looking for the secret formula to fat loss. Like there's a pill available tomorrow, everyone's going to go and buy it.
100%.
It's just the same with personal training, and that's where these gurus come along. I'm going to help you go from a poor client to owning a Ferrari in 6 months. Well, you potentially could, but it's unlikely that's going to happen. But you sold the dream, and that's why. And even personal training companies, like providers like myself, not actually myself, but they sell you this like, you're going to on target earning of $60,000 a year. You can work from your laptop. Never do a 9 to 5 again in your life. Okay, but are they going to help you get to that? Probably not. They're not going to tell you how to get it. They're just going to give you a certificate and show you the door.
Yeah, makes sense. So let's end on this, and this is how I end all the podcasts. And if you remember how I ended the one with Ben, then then you'll know what's coming. So, Karl, what do you think makes a good coach?
What makes a good coach? Definitely, we've spoken about it a couple of times. You've got to be approachable. Number one, if you're not approachable and you've got a bit of a barrier, they're not going to get past that barrier. You've lost a client. You've got to be approachable. You've got to put yourself out there. Definitely on a face-to-face. Try and get your foot in the gym. As soon as you qualify, people don't want to be doing the free 15 hours in like your Pure Gyms, etc. But why the hell not? Pure Gym's got 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 members, and all they're asking for is 15 hours a week of your time. When you're there, yes, you've got to clean treadmills. Unfortunately, it's part of the job. But in between cleaning treadmills, you can speak to their whole database of members. Get out there, speak to people, be approachable, give valuable, I know this is a bit of a sort of cliche saying these days, but give valuable content. Like we said, if you can help someone lose body fat for free, if you can help improve someone's deadlift for free, that's value to them. Whether it's on social media, face-to-face, email, whatever it may be. Start gathering client data, start trying to build up a bit of a network, offer stuff for free. Like I need 5 clients as a free transformation when you first start. Straight away you've got 5 testimonials, 5 before and after pictures. Get out there, get it done, and just sort of, like I said, keep going back to it, but be approachable, have a plan in mind, and just try and start thinking very basically how you're going to run yourself as a business.
Cool. So not only what makes a good coach, but some top advice there to kind of top it off. And really good stuff that's going to help people get the right perspective on what's important in this industry to be successful. So just want to say thank you so much for doing this. For anyone that wants to find out more about you, your products and your services and your brand and how you do things, or maybe there's people that want to reach out and speak to you and get advice, how can they find you?
Yeah, so it's just at the PT Mentor UK on Facebook and Instagram. If they want to add me personally on Facebook, it's Karl with a K, so Karl. Muir is Muir. Add me on Facebook, Instagram, etc. But just as a thank you to you and your followers, anyone that sort of comes via this podcast, if they put podcast in an email at info@theptmentor.uk, not .co.uk, just .uk. If they put podcast as a title and mention it in there, they can have 15% off any of our courses as well. Awesome.
That's amazing. That's a great deal. So we'll put that in the show notes as well. So that'll stay up and it'll stay on iTunes and Apple and all that stuff. So yeah, man, thank you for coming on the show. It's been an awesome chat. There's plenty of good content in there for people to get stuck into, stuff that's actionable and is needed really. So thanks so much, Karl. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for that. Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episodes. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, I would be really grateful if you could leave a short review or post a comment on what you'd like to hear in future episodes. And if you're a face-to-face personal trainer with room to take on additional clients, head over to CoachingIgnited.com, where you can apply for our 30-day Client Accelerator program and find out more about our business, sales and marketing training platform. See you on the next episode.